One example of an application of systems of equations is investments. Now, a firm invests $10,000 into 3 different accounts, each paying simple annual interest, with account A paying 3%, B paying 5%, C paying 6.5%. After 1 year, the firm has earned 375 interest, and if the portion of the investment to account B was double that to account C, find the amount that was invested into each account. So, we'll let the variables A, B, and C be the amount invested each account. So the variable A means the money invested in account A. And then B would be the money invested in account B, C the money invested in account C. And one thing that we know is that the total amount invested is $10,000. So that means the sum of the amounts in the 3 accounts would be 10,000. So A plus B plus C is equal to 10,000. And we also know the total amount of interest and the percent interest for each account. So amount A is invested into account A. The interest contributed by account A would be that interest rate as a decimal, 0.03, times the amount in A. Similarly, the amount of interest contributed by account B would be that interest rate as a decimal, 0.05, times the amount in B. Same thing for C, that interest rate as a decimal would be 0.065 times the amount in C. All of those amounts would sum to the total amount of interest after 1 year, $375. So we have 2 equations and 3 unknowns. We have one more piece of information though, which is that the portion of the investment to account B is double that to account C. So what that means is that the amount in B is equal to twice the amount in C, or B equals 2C as an equation. Now we have 3 equations and 3 unknowns, and we can solve this system. We could use any method to solve, but one thing that makes the substitution method easiest for this is that we already have one variable solved for in this 3rd equation. So substitution is a method that would be easy for this particular example. So to use substitution, what we could do is wherever we see B in the previous equations, substitute 2C into those equations. So that means that for this first equation, we could instead write A plus 2C plus C equals 10,000, since B is equal to 2C. We could turn that equation into A plus 3C equals 10,000. Okay, and then doing the same in the second equation, we can replace B with 2C, so that would be 0.03A plus 0.05 times 2C plus 0.065C equals 375. And we can simplify this equation a little bit as well. We can combine like terms on the left with the C's to write this equation as 0.03A plus 1C, or 0.1C, plus 0.065C equals 375. And going one step further, that would be 0.03A plus 0.165C equals 375. So just using that simple substitution, we now have 2 equations and 2 unknowns. We have this equation, A plus 3C equals 10,000, and then we have this equation, 0.03A plus 0.165C equals 375. And we can solve those 2 equations using substitution or elimination in order to solve for one of the variables. So one thing that might be a good idea, a lot of people don't like working with decimals or fractions. It's perfectly okay to do that. But it might make this equation easier to work with if we were to multiply out the decimals. So for example, we could multiply this equation by 100. That won't completely multiply out the decimals, but might make things a little bit easier. That would turn this into 3a plus 16.5c equals 37,500. Okay, so now we have this equation and this one. We could eliminate a from those equations by multiplying this first equation by -3. If we do that, we would have -3a minus 9c equals -30,000. Then we add the equations together, eliminate a, and we get 7.5c equals 7,500. Then divide by 7.5 on both sides, and we get that c is equal to 1,000. So now we have the investment in account C. To find the investment in account A, we can now plug this value back in to this equation that we just used. That would be A plus 3 times 1,000 equals 10,000, or A plus 3,000 equals 10,000. From that we can get, by subtracting 3,000 from both sides, that A is equal to 7,000. And then it remains only to find the amount in account B. To do that, we could use any of the 3 original equations. Might be easiest to use this one, that B is twice C. Since C is 1,000 and B is twice C, that means that B is equal to 2,000. So what that means is that 7,000 was invested to account A, and 2,000 was invested to account B, and 1,000 was invested to account C. So this method of solving really wasn't one method in particular. It was a combination of elimination and substitution and manipulating the equations in order to get these 3 results.